Hi, students. So, for the next few weeks, definitely the next several lessons, we are going to try to weave some fabric out of some of the most recent weekly topics like population and migration and also development that we began speaking about a couple weeks ago. Certainly, we were heavy on that last week, and we're going to tie in some of the topics from chapter 10 on development, industrialization, and agriculture. So, we're going to continue with chapter 10 toward the end of chapter 10, where it talks about different types of agriculture and industrialized agriculture. And we're going to go into chapter 11. The focus of it is entirely agriculture. But honestly, more than that, we're going to look at some background and some history of human beings on the planet to show how we arrived where we are today. And food is one of the things that we definitely have to focus on when we look at how we were able to survive, where populations of people expanded and grew, how Thomas Malthus was wrong about the food supply because he did not he did not predict the future with industrialization and intensive agriculture coming into play and the kinds of advancements that machines could make. How neo-Malthusians are looking at agriculture today instead of looking at not enough food on the planet, there's too much food on the planet and the planet is suffering. So instead of, the population not being able to have enough food to survive, like Thomas Malthus was focused on, neo-Malthusians look at the ways in which intensive agriculture, industrialization, and the way that we have produced food over the last several decades that has had a toll on the planet and sustainability and these kinds of things. And so we're going to look at different industrial revolutions, plural, agricultural revolutions, plural, but we're going to start at the beginning and look at food getting strategies such as foraging, which is otherwise known as hunting and gathering, and we're going to look at the way human populations evolved. We're going to revisit the demographic transition model in order to, get a better picture in our mind of how agriculture and food getting strategies in general really super duper affected the ways that populations grow, expand, and are able to feed themselves and devote time and energy into pursuits other than agriculture. So this is going to be some history of these geographic topics. We're going to look at not only how we've arrived today, but we're going to do some looking into the future about some of the potential answers to the problems that industrialized agriculture is proposed to have created. And so this unit, you could call it a unit on agriculture or food getting strategies. This is going to span several different lessons, 2 weeks at least, probably 3 maybe, before we get the full picture of what development, like the impact of development in the world, the impact of food getting strategies, the techniques that are used in industrialized agriculture, and then the future looking things like we're in the green revolution now, but with the fourth industrial revolution that we'll look at in a couple of weeks, we look at the maybe we don't need big farms anymore because we can create meat in a laboratory, for instance, and we can create a lot of protein sources in a lab. There's a huge can't remember the name of it. It's not Impossible Meat. It's not that brand, but there's a huge corporation stationed or headquartered out of Memphis, Tennessee, close by. I'm pointing down the highway from where I live towards Memphis, Tennessee, because they use 2 or 3 little tiny cells from a real chicken, for instance, and you can produce 875,000 chicken fingers from that, or chicken nuggets, or whatever it is. And so perhaps in the future we won't need the kind of industrialized farming that climate activists especially point to in the causes of some of the environmental calamities that we're facing in our present day and certainly looking into the future. So we've got a lot to cover, okay? So this is just the introductory kind of outline of what we're going to focus on and why we skipped around a little bit in the chapters leading up to this. If you've been paying attention, we jumped to from chapter 4 to 10 or something like that, chapter 3 especially to 10 to look at some of the reasons why our population, our migration, and these kinds of things happen, the difference between first world and third world countries, and we're going to focus on these topics that weave all that together in the next few weeks. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.